Destination Planet Negro.
Destination Planet Negro.
Now, we did touch on this because Derrick saw it himself.
That was an alright movie. It wasn't great, but it was good.
It was garbage, Pat.
Like, all right. Okay. I'm going to need to stop mincing words and tell us how you really feel.
It was hilarious because when it comes in with, it's like the Illuminati of all black folks. Like you had like one black member for every like religious, like, so we had like a priest.
There was one Muslim, one Christian priest.
It almost felt like they wanted to name it Black to the Future. Like it almost,
that would have been freaking awesome.
It almost felt like that's what they wanted to name it, and it felt like a little Nickelodeon-y type of a film. But it was just, I mean, it was made. The bottom line is that they made a movie. Yeah. So kudos to them. I applaud them.
So who's behind this thing? Like I haven't even heard of this sucker. So
it was written by the same person who wrote Chirac.
Co-wrote it with Spike Lee.
Okay,
co-written.
Yes.
Spike Lee did not co-write this movie.
No,
with shows. But they do some clever things with history, and it's basically like these folks who were these scientists in 1939.
All the high-ranking black people get together at their weekly meeting
and talk about the progression of the black race.
Black folks are in peril in this society.
And they decide that not only America, but the world isn't safe enough for African Americans, so they decide to fly to Mars to basically try to colonize that so it's
like a Negro planet.
Exactly.
That was the plan.
That was the plan. But the white folks are coming.
Yep.
Because somebody snitched. So we don't have time to actually get the party together and get everyone on this rocket. Yeah. So because one snitch didn't get stitches, we're only able to get one scientist, his assistant, and a special pilot.
The extra person was the scientist's daughter.
Well, daughter / assistant.
She was actually kind of very cute, so.
Oh, okay. Keep things in perspective, bro.
That's what kept me watching the movie, bro.
All right. Okay. Well, that's the synopsis of the movie, and from there, it really has no direction. They fly to what they think is Mars, but instead they fall through a black hole and end up time traveling.
I guess they end up in kind of 2016, and they're kind of like shocked at like iPhones, and it's in color. So the first part of the movie is in black and white, like when they're in the past, and when they're in the present day, it's in color.
That's how you know it was the past. Color wasn't invented until 1974.
And it was just, it wasn't a good.
It just wasn't good. It just wasn't.
It's supposed to be a social commentary, and I can definitely see the Spike Lee influence.
Yeah.
He was in no way, shape, or form involved in the creation of this, but you can tell somebody who wrote this was a big fan of Spike Lee movies. I got a lot of school days in this.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of behavior was unrealistic, but it was supposed to be symbolic.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's my take on it. There was a movie that I saw many years ago with Angelina Jolie. It was called like The World of Tomorrow.
Sky Captain.
Yeah, Sky Captain, The World of Tomorrow.
See, that was a dope movie.
That was really good. People did not like it.
That was a good looking movie.
No, it was a good
I wouldn't say a good movie.
It had a nice aesthetic.
Sorry,
I felt the movie looked really good. I don't think the movie was that great. If they had that type of budget, that's what the movie would have looked like. That's what they were going for.
Right.
They were trying to make it look like an old-timey film, like, I wouldn't say steampunk, but
it sounds
you know, that kind of weird technology, and everything is like super grand and very like utilitarian kind of.
Hudsucker Proxy.
Yes.
Very deco.
Very,
well, it's just everything's really tall and spaced.
Tall, skyscraper
it just sounds like they were way too ambitious for the actual budget to pull it off.
It literally looked like it was shot on like an iPhone 6.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
Whereas Tangerine, which looked great.
Which was amazing.
You can't have ambition to make something look
Tangerine looked great on iPhone.
I'm not sure what it was shot on. It was definitely shot on something digital, but it was like they were trying to make $100 million movie with mothballs.
$75.
The whole picture to me had a very student film vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there were audio problems in some scenes. There was poor editing in others. Some of them were edited spot on. There was guest stars.
Well, who's starting this second? Anybody worth mentioning?
The only person that was actually like a significant person that I recognized.
Bokeem Woodbine.
Not Bokeem Woodbine.
Was that Brother Ali that played the white rapper?
I don't think it was Brother Ali, but have you ever seen Last of the Mohicans?
Yeah, of course.
The main guy. Him.
That is true. That is true. He had a
Daniel Day-Lewis?
No.
That's
right. Not the main guy. The main Native American.
Oh my God! Helped he's been in like in every movie.
Yeah, because he's.
He was in it. Yeah, he was in it.
But he was in it for like 17 seconds.
Yeah,
it was a point in 17 seconds, but it still was 17 seconds.
The guy played it was.
And he was also in Heat. So he played he had a small part in Heat. But yes, he was the one person I was like, oh. There is someone that's kind of famous.
How did you end up in this? Yeah. Interesting.
Somebody probably has pictures of him.
Yeah.
But that's what I'll say. I mean,
some of the performances came across as very stereotypical of.
A little offensive.
A lot offensive. We got that robot. Sounded like the robot came across.
So
they got
his name Strom,
and the robot was one jive turkey.
The robot was funny. They had this like really old school like racist stereotype, and I don't mean racist like against black people. I mean like the old farmer who wants those Negroes away from his daughter.
Kind of like a ruckus character
in robot form.
Coon du jour.
It was funny though. I
we landed on Gaia. I said Gaia, and if we done Gaia, I don't know where we's at.
Yeah,
that's basically what he sounded like throughout the whole movie. It was hilarious though. It carried the movie a little bit.
And I will point out a high point of that character, surprisingly, was he wasn't just racist against black people.
Yeah.
He was racist against Asians, against Native Americans, against Latin folks, everyone he was an equal opportunity racist. It was actually very uplifting.
True. It was very true.
So can I ask, and this might be, is the director of this movie a person of color?
Yes. I would guess.
Yeah.
Because if a white person made that movie, I'd be like, wow, you really don't like black people.
It's like when you say it's like the kind of like they're like kind of cliche characters and everything like that. It's like, aren't they trying to?
Well, these are cliche characters, but along the same lines as if you've ever seen Spike Lee's School Days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Planet Negro doesn't really have a lot of direction. It probably wasn't a good film.
Yeah, I found it very disjointed. At times, it didn't know if it wanted to be a comedy or if it wanted to be a serious message film. And it would go like these 10-minute stints where they would try to be hilarious, and a couple of jokes would hit, but we're talking like 2 out of 17.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it would go through another 10-minute stint where it's like the most serious stuff you'd ever seen. You're watching lynchings and stuff, and then it would go back to trying to be comedy. And they also covered the one drop rule where one of the blackest characters, like legitimately blackest characters, I think the dude in real life may be a rapper.
Yeah.
The one of the realest dudes was this white rapper in the movie.
Yep.
It was kind of surprising, but I found it very disjointed. Is that what you're asking?
Okay, Spike Lee.
Uh-huh.
I haven't.
He's 5'2".
I don't think I've seen a good movie of his since The 25th Hour.
Wow.
No, Inside Man was decent. I liked Inside Man, but his films are not packing the political punch that they used to.
Well, it wasn't Spike Lee. It was the guy who worked with Spike Lee who directed it.
But I know that he worked with Spike Lee on Chirac or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, what did you expect?
What did I expect?
Yeah.
I honestly expected a movie with a little more focus. I wasn't so much looking for a Spike Lee-esque movie. I was just looking for something that really showed that you've worked with a veteran director and somebody who generally has his ideas in place. I could see the influence in the intent of the movie, but not really in the execution. But then again, Spike Lee's been doing this for like 20-some-odd years, 30-some-odd years, and this dude is fairly new. Okay, there's symbolism, and then there's Lawrence Fishburne literally running to the center of the school, ringing a bell and telling black people, "Hey, wake up!"
Yeah, it was very preachy.
Well,
it's like Oliver Stone does that as well.
Well, no, Oliver Stone at the very least has talent. This was okay. Pause. That was unfair. That was an unfair thing to say. This was overtly heavy-handed in your face.
Yes.
There were scenes where they specifically said, "We have a black president now. You need to understand we're free." I think that's an actual line, because she leaned out of the car and said it in the tree.
They got pulled over.
Yes.
When they got pulled over by the cop, and then they're just like, Obama's black, and he's half white, and I just thought you should know that we're... And it was just, man, I'm like waiting for Black Lives Matter to happen right now. I'm like, wow, if they go here, I'm like, all right, you forced it. I understand.
Yeah, those were some of the moments that really jived with me, because it was
all right.
Yeah.
It's like, we get it. You're impressed with the future. Let's actually get a story here. And it was awful, struggling to balance between comedy and serious message.
So you're saying so the message was not coming through?
No, the message came through loud and clear.
It was
and then when you got it, they wrote it on a sledgehammer and then dinged you in the side of the head with it over and over again. And then when you were unconscious, they took a megaphone, stood over your unconscious body, and screamed it in your face.
So what is the message of the film?
The message of the film is black people need to come together and rise above, and then appreciate in the future we have a black president, and we have started to come together and rise above, but we still have a ways to go to come together and rise above. Yeah. And then once we come together and rise above, we will finally have come together and risen above. But until then, we need to come together and rise above, because the committee of smart black people in the past would want us to do this in the future.
And
oh gosh,
yeah,
there was a committee. There was a committee of smart black people. All the smart black people in the world get together for like weekly meetings.
And my
in this movie.
My biggest issues with the film actually
besides the weekly meeting of smart black people.
No, my biggest issues with the film is that it felt a little too Back to the Future Part 3. If you know what I'm talking about, like remember how Doc stays behind?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the exact same thing in this.
Yeah.
Well, if you had Mary Steenburgen waiting for you too, you might.
Yeah. There was a part where I guess someone wanted to go back and get Hitler, and it felt a little Inglourious Basterds too.
Yeah, there was one dude who decided he's gonna save the future Hitler with gay sex.
So that sounds like they were stretching this movie.
To be fair,
gay sex is not the end all be all answer to everything. It can solve some problems.
First of all,
not
Pat,
all problems. Someone saw Rent and was like, you know what? I suddenly know how to accept and appreciate everybody.
I can't believe I'm bringing this up on the show, but I can't believe this. There was a movie back in the day called Brother Future. Do you remember this?
No, wait, Brother Future?
Brother Future.
Okay.
Brother from Another Planet?
Brother Future.
That's what I was thinking.
No, not Brother from Another Planet. Brother Future. I don't remember the actor's name, but he was on the Wayans Brothers. He was on
Marlon Wayans.
Not Marlon Wayans. I feel like his name is like TK something.
Oh, wait. You talking about the pimp?
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. He was in this movie called...
He was TC on the show.
TC on the show, yes.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Brother Future where he was like this kind of con artist-y kind of a guy in like 1990, and he was running away from the cops, slipped and fell, woke up in like slavery times. And it was him, and he couldn't get out of it, and he basically had to figure out his stuff, and then eventually he woke up in the present. This movie kind of felt like that, just the reverse. It was like a whole lot of...
Like a Living Chappelle show skit, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was, you know.
All right, well, we've said the bad. Anything you'd call out that was a positive in this movie?
Well, again, you know, I could say whatever I want about the movie. The bottom line is that they made one, you know, and every movie is someone's favorite movie. So, you know.
Between the bad comedy and between the over heavy-handed pro-blackness, there were these moments of actual introspection.
I'll say, to me, it wasn't a great movie, but I could see people watching it and just having a ball laughing with it. You know what I mean? Or at it or whatever. But
yeah.
Like if it's your type of movie, if you want a little not too serious educational kind of a film, or if you just want to support a local awesome film festival, go see it.
I would believe it or not, I would recommend somebody see this. I'm going to say I did not like this movie, but I would still recommend people watch it.
I always recommend people see films, even if I didn't like it.
Nah. I'm a hard bastard about that stuff. It's just like, nah, you gonna like this.
I mean, honestly, I just thought the movie was a little longer than what it needed to be. 142 minutes
definitely.
long. I think it needed to be like one hour and like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. I could see this running on maybe PBS.
Yeah,
if they'd edited it better, if they could have edited it down to an hour. The robot would have been the comic relief, and they could have gotten their point across. The most poignant parts were when we got to see the perspective of modern America, especially black life in modern America, urban life, I'll say, in modern America through the eyes of like 1960s citizens. Black folks from an era where we have repression. We don't have gay rights. We don't have black rights. We don't have gender neutrality. We don't have any acceptance of any lifestyle if you're not rich, white, male, and relatively middle to upper class to upper class.
Even though the acting was poor, I thought when that little retro scene where they were just going back with like the pictures of Martin and stuff. Yeah, you know that was poignant. Like the girl acted very well in that scene. So.
It was a little heavy for me, but I see what they were going for, and conceptually, I think it was still worth seeing.
Yeah.